Okay, so remember, when you are not interested in game, but you have a long suit, you can use lebensohl to get where you want to go. So I think our very first example hand last week looked not terribly different from this. Right, so partner opens a no trump, and then let's say we get a 2 spade overcall. So remember how this works? So the idea here is, because we have a known heart fit, we have 6 hearts. Opener has at least 2, so we've got an 8-card fit. We don't have a lot, but we don't just want to sell out to 2 spades. Doesn't look like we have much defense against spades. So we want to play exactly 3 hearts here, right? We don't want to freely bid 3 hearts because that's forcing. Partner would probably raise us to game. So what do we do here? So this is where our relay comes in, right? So you bid 2 no lebensohl, makes the opener bid 3 clubs. Opener has to bid 3 clubs because they don't know what your suit is yet, right? You might want to pass 3 clubs. But here you're going to correct, right? You're going to bid 3 hearts. And opener is going to say, oh yeah, I remember this lebensohl thing. That's why you used the relay. You wanted to play 3 hearts. You weren't strong enough to bid 3 hearts the first time around. And so your partner won't punish you with a raise. They will calmly pass 3 hearts and let you play it there, right?
Hopefully.
Okay, so remember so that was the scenario we looked at using lebensohl before. You did not want to be in game. You were specifically less than invitational. Okay. What if you're game forcing? Would you ever use lebensohl if you're game forcing? And the answer is yes, actually. We just haven't talked about it yet. If you are game forcing, we're going to put your hand into one of 2 categories. You're either game forcing with or without.
Gluten-free with stopper?
Yes, you are gluten-free. You know, it's funny because I see that. You know, I see that on, you know, packaging or on menus or things like that, and I like my gluten, so I always am like, game forcing? Why are they talking about bridge on their menu? All right, if you're game forcing, there are 2 ways that you could be game forcing. You could have a stopper in the opponent's suit. You could be game forcing and not have a stopper in the opponent's suit. And so lebensohl presents you a great opportunity to tell partner even more about your hand in a competitive auction. So, let's look at a hand like that. How about a couple small? You're going to be balanced this time, so you're definitely not going to have a long suit. But you are going to want to be in game somewhere. So we have a no trump from partner. We have the 2 spade overcall from opponent, and you have that hand. Definitely game forcing, right? 12 high card points opposite a no trump. Possible that opener has 5 hearts and you have a 5-3 heart fit. Aside from the fact that you don't have an honor in spades, this sure looks like it wants to be a no trump to me, right? But you don't have a long suit, right? So it's not like you're not going to force with 3 clubs or 3 diamonds on just a mediocre 4-card suit. That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? No. So how are you supposed to bid this hand? We talked about Q-bid, right? We looked at Q-bid on the last hand. Well, if you bid 3 spades, that would certainly be forcing. That would tell partner that you had a game force. 3 spades to me kind of implies that you have 4 hearts. Remember we talked about Q-bid working like Stamen? So if you bid 3 spades, it sounds to me like you're game forcing with a 4-card heart suit. And partner might bid 4 hearts, which could be right here. Not to say that it might not be right. I just don't know that it's the ideal description. All right, well, this is where it might look sort of funny to you. Believe it or not, the standard bid is that. Now, you might do that anyhow, right?
Yep, that's what I think.
Yeah. That's what Nina, Nina says, this looks like 3-0. To hell with them and their spades. I'm bidding 3-0. The only thing is you are guessing a little bit, right? If you bid 3-0, you're banking on partner having spades stopped. And then if partner doesn't, then we go back to your suggestion, get a new partner. No, this is actually exactly what this means.
No.
Okay, has anybody ever heard of or seen, maybe you have just seen it on your convention card because it's actually there. Has anybody heard this notion of fast denies? All right, you have now. All right, so when you play lebensohl, the standard treatment is a direct jump to 3-0 by responder says to partner, I'm game forcing, but I deny a stopper in their suit. Now that may seem kind of strange to you, but if partner has a stopper, they're just gonna leave you there and that's where you belong, right? If partner does not have a stopper, now they probably want to pull 3-0 to something else. What that something else is? Presumably their longest suit. What if they don't have a 5-card suit to bid? Well,
4th card.
yeah, like I said, on a rare occasion, partner may be under some pressure. Usually partner's got something that will suffice as a stopper and this will work out okay. So, without a stopper, we normally play fast denies. And when we mean fast what? Fast arrival, basically. Fast arrival to game denies a stopper. I don't think I have I do. Let me see. I have my groom card here. So, in this box here, in your no trump box, so you've got lebensohl in red. Remember lebensohl, that the 2-0 bid of lebensohl is alertable. And then next to it, there's a parenthetical blank denies, and usually people just write in fast. I suppose you could play it the other way around, but I've never seen anybody do that. I've never seen anybody play that slow arrival denies a stopper. Normally it's fast. You go right to game, you deny a stopper.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
If it's blank. What if it's blank on a convention card? If I ask for a convention card and that's blank, what do I
Well,
assume
if it's
about
normally if lebensohl is checked, you will also see that blank filled out. So if they haven't addressed that part, no, that's possible, right? Look, if any of you who played lebensohl in the past week before we got into this business of stopper showing, and by the way, the stopper showing is that's really the only part of it that is not part of the so-called simple sol structure. I guess this is less simple. So yeah, like if you played lebensohl this past week and you were updating your convention card, I suppose you probably would have checked the lebensohl box, and then you would have seen this blank next to it, something denies, and you would be like, what's that? Kurt didn't talk about that.
So what did you put in that blank?
Usually people write fast in that little blank. So that would be this hand right here. And again, this is all presuming that you don't have a better bid, right? Because we still figure that, not that you couldn't do this with other hand types, but certainly anytime you have a 4 or 5 card major, or really a 5 card new suit that you can introduce in a forcing manner, you're probably going to bid it differently. So you don't necessarily have to bid 3-no right away, and you're going to find out when you make your natural enforcing bid, you're going to find out anyhow if the partner has a stopper there, because they're probably going to follow with 3-no. Anyhow, so yeah, so this suggests a balanced hand. You're probably 4-4-3-2 or 4-3-3 when you do this. I'm reminded of kind of a sad and funny lebensohl story. Sad and funny all at once. It was so ridiculous that it was great. So I don't remember exactly what the hand was. It was some sort of game forcing thing, like that. Very flat. Was playing in a team game at the St. Louis Regional. This didn't happen at my table. It happened at my teammates' table. And at our table, the opponents played 3-no. It looked to be the most normal 3-no in the world. Our opponents made it. There was no way for us to beat it. End of story. So we thought this was just a push board, right? So we go back for our comparison, and our opponents went down in 3-no. And they were actually laughing when we got to the table, because they were so absurd. They weren't even mad about this. They thought it was funny. Well, at their table, they had interference from the opponents in the spade suit. And they went through, which is something that we're going to look at in just a moment here, where you are able to show the stopper. So the person who was, so responder had a hand like this and figured, okay, the person who's bidding the suit is on my right. I have queen third. If they have ace and king, they are likely to be in the right position. Reasonable to call queen third a stopper there, right? So they had their auction, and of course this included an alertable bid, and the opponents asked during the auction, and said, well, this bid shows a stopper in your suit. Okay. So the opening lead against 3-no was the jack of spades. Well, what does the jack of spades look like?
Top of a sequence?
The top of a sequence, or remember that jack is standard from ace jack 10 or king jack 10, right? Yeah. And this person had overcalled spades, so they're known to have 5 of them. So the correct play is not to cover the queen. The correct play is to duck twice and play for ace x or king x on your right. The partner of the overcaller looked to have honor doubleton. That is technically the correct play, right? Because if this person on opening lead has all the top honors, it should be a different lead, right? So my teammate George, this is great. It's Georgia Heth. She's actually a district. I think she's still on the national board of directors for ACBL. So she studied this for a second and said, okay, well, I have honor doubleton on my left. I can freeze the suit, right? If they play the jack and I duck and they play another one, this person's on right wins their ace or king doubleton and doesn't have one to lead back, right? So she ducked the jack. And it went ace of spades, king of spades, spade, spade, and down she went. And my other teammate, her partner Will, actually fell out of his chair. He was laughing so hard. And the lady had no idea what was going on. She couldn't figure out what was so funny, why they were laughing. And she said, I was just trying to knock out your stopper. They said, yes, you did, very effectively. Jack from Ace King Jack is not a standard lead.
Yeah.
So my teammates got this wrong. The queen third, in fact, was an adequate stopper. Just had to plan it trick one. The normal lead, by the way, from something like that would be one of your power cards, would be the ace or king. And have a look at dummy and get a signal from partner and figure out whether or not you should continue. So. Anyhow, so,
So what was the funny part of that?
well, that if she had put up the queen, she was making her contract.
She would have, yeah, won that.
Yeah, she never dreamed that the lead of the Jack was from Ace King Jack.
I see.
So she got this wrong because of the unusual lead. But that's all right. You know, look, I think if we're doing it here in a few weeks, you know what, one of the things, and this is a topic in the class, deception. Well, my class is deception by declare, but you can be deceptive as a defender too. I think what was funny was that she wasn't trying to be deceptive. She thought this was a normal lead. It was actually a very abnormal lead, but it worked very well. So, all right, so that's.
So Kurt, you don't have to follow your convention card as far as standard leads.
Well, no, you don't. Look, you can always, if you decide the time is right to do it, you can always violate your partnership agreements. But remember that when you do something deceptive as declared, it's pretty much a no risk proposition, right? Because your partner's dummy. And your partner just has to pull whatever card from the dummy you call. If you do something deceptive as a defender, you may be deceiving the opponents, but you're also deceiving your partner and may cause your partner to misdefend a hand. So you've got to be really careful. If you do, make a false card or something like that as a defender, you need to be sure that, is this going to mislead partner too? So sometimes you have a hand where based on the auction in your own hand that partner is so weak that they're probably never going to get the lead on the hand. Well, if the partner's never going to get the lead, they're probably not going to screw anything up on defense. So in that situations, it's safe. But
So when it's called out on your convention card, you don't have to follow. Because that one is called out on the convention card.
And in fact, your opponent might say, "What's your carding?"
Mhm.
And do you have to say standard even though your partner led the bottom of a sequence? I mean,
Well, you don't. In theory, you don't know.
you don't know.
Well, if I ask for the convention card, which I had the right to do, it shows the standard convention. Are
Yeah.
they in violation or not?
No.
No.
You can, like I said, you can always violate your agreements. You just take on some risk when you do that. Like I said, anytime you are misleading the opponents, you are also possibly misleading your partner, and that's the danger in it. So that was a hand where you were game forcing without a stopper, and we had you just bid 3-0 right away. What if your hand looks like this?